Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally making the video that I've been meaning to make since like January, which is how to make the ultimate hair product. Yes, it's another rosemary water video. I know everyone uses rosemary water pretty much now, but I've mentioned since I started my new lock journey in January that this is like all I put on my hair. In the beginning, I sprayed my hair with this like every single day because it's moisturizing, it's hydrating, it makes hair shiny, soft, bouncy, voluminous, everything, all the good things. Now I don't use it every single day because I wake up and my hair is sort of ready to go as is. It's just like a little bit of regular water in my hands. But I wanted to finally show you guys how exactly I do this. There are a lot of different methods. You can use fresh or dry rosemary. I just pick up this one from Whole Foods, and it's like a lot of little sprigs in this container. So first I just measure it out in a measuring cup. There's a ratio to follow depending how potent you want your water to be. I'm measuring about half a cup, you know, if I really condense it down, about half a cup of fresh rosemary here, and I'm just gonna put that into my pot because for rosemary water you boil it, duh. So now I'm measuring out my water. For me, I do half a cup of rosemary to 3 cups of water, so I'm just gonna pour that right on top of the rosemary. I don't know how big this pot is. None of this really needs to be an exact science because even if you make your rosemary water wrong, you're still gonna get all the benefits. I would say the only things you want to avoid are really overcooking it and not cleaning it before you start. I am just putting this on high to boil. You want to bring your rosemary to a boil in the pot. Here I am waiting for it to boil. And now that it is boiling, you're going to want to turn that down to a simmer. And here's where you have options. I like to simmer it for about 20 minutes, but you can also let it simmer or even turn it off completely for several hours if you want to, or even overnight if you want to. It really depends on how potent you want it to be. And so we're just waiting for 20 minutes. I'm checking it. It's still boiling. That's great. That's, you know, simmering. That's what simmering is. I think if your goal is to absolutely regrow your hair, like if you had thinning hair or something, you probably want it to be super potent, which you can tell based on how dark your rosemary water is. So I am no longer regrowing hair. I was in January when I was like using this every day, but now it's just sort of a maintenance thing. Like it makes my hair really hydrated and I love that. When it was finished simmering, I just took it off the flame and I'm periodically checking to see if it's cooled down. I'm checking if the color is what I want. This sort of like medium yellowish brown is what I like to see. It's not too light and it's not too dark. I also don't add anything extra. Sometimes I'll add a few drops of peppermint oil, but in general, I don't want to mix essential oils with water since they don't actually mix, and sometimes using the essential oils frequently can actually dry your hair out. But again, that's really up to like your hair type and whatever you notice about your hair. For me, my hair doesn't love oils. So here I am making a giant mess, trying to pour it into my spray bottle. If you have a bigger spray bottle, like one of those continuous misters, this would be a lot easier. But I don't use a giant bottle because I actually pour it into several small jars and freeze it. Rosemary water can last up to 2 weeks in your fridge, but it can last up to a month in the freezer. So if I put it in a large spray bottle and just put it in my fridge, I wouldn't be able to use all of it in 2 weeks and I'd be wasting my rosemary. So here I am continuing my giant mess, pouring it into my glass jars, which I have a little collection of. Obviously, do not put glass in your freezer if it is not tempered glass because it will shatter. So yeah, here's my second container, and then lastly my third little guy. And yeah, so this will last up to a month. I usually don't use it all before it's done, but it's pretty close, so I don't feel like I'm wasting it. But whenever my spray bottle is about to be empty, I just take one of these out of the freezer like the night before, and I put it in the fridge, and then I pour it into the spray bottle and then put the rest back into the freezer. So as you can see, it was a super easy process. There are, like I said, a lot of different ways to do this. If you watch 100 videos about how to make rosemary water, you're probably gonna see 100 different ways, but they're all basically the same. You boil it, you simmer it, you let it sit, you want it to get nice and dark. Yeah, I put it in the fridge, I put them in the freezer. I use this probably now like a couple times a week. I always use it after I wash my hair just to moisturize my scalp. I have noticed my hair growing in thicker, stronger, definitely less delicate because I have really fine hair. And this is the next morning, just showing you guys how I do it. So first I go along my hairline, the areas that would just be naturally thinner. Because I have micro locks as opposed to traditional locks, sort of at less of a risk for my locks weighing down my roots and therefore like causing my hair to thin. But it's a good idea just for maintenance, just for like preventative measures. Spray along your hairline, spray in your part, because where you part your hair all the time is where your hair will thin when you're old. Yeah, and I just do this, and then I'm spraying it along the shaft of my locks as well, fluffing my hair out. I'm kind of using it to style my hair the same way I do on the mornings I don't use this, just with regular water. Any moisture you get into your hair in the morning is great. You know, water is what hydrates your hair. Oil and other moisturizers is what seals the hydration in, but you cannot have healthy moisturized hair without water first. So rosemary water is a great way to do that. It's just a little something extra, a little something more than regular water. And also on a side note, as I'm watching this, look at my hair color. If you guys saw my last video, I used the Sun Bum hair lightening spray, and I'm loving the results. It's like a medium ashy brown. It's actually like the same color as my eyebrows, which I love. Highly recommend. It looks really great in the sun. Anyway, yeah, so I hope this was helpful for you guys. If there's one product I recommend, it's this, and it's not even a product that you have to buy, so it's super cost efficient. If you buy a rosemary plant, you can always grow it yourself and continue to grow it, so that's awesome. Yeah, there's really no downside. All right, I hope you guys are having a great week. Bye.